Hello, crime enthusiasts, are you ready for another chilling investigation? The case of Sajini. In December 2002, Tharun Jinaraj and Sajini Krishnan, a newlywed couple, started their life together. Tharun and Sajini's marriage was arranged, but the couple was very happy and were building a life together in their apartment. Tharun, a physical education teacher at a local school and a volleyball coach, his wife, Sajini, worked at a bank. Whenever Tharun went to watch volleyball, he would remind his wife, Sajini, that due to the unsafe burglary situation in the area, Sajini should go to her father's house instead of staying alone in their apartment. Sajini's father lived nearby, so she would go to her father's house whenever Tharun went to watch volleyball. On February 5, 2003, Sajini visited her father's house for the last time. Before leaving, she said that she needed money to fill up her car's gas tank. Sajini's father was surprised and asked if Tharun was taking good care of her. Sajini appeared angry and dismissed her father's concerns, saying, "Dad, there's no such thing." Her short reply made her father feel uncomfortable, thinking that it might just be a minor disagreement between the couple. On February 14, 2003, at 7:30 p.m., Sajini had a phone conversation with her sister that lasted about 15 minutes. 2 hours later, at about 9:30 p.m., Tharun contacted Sajini's father, informing him to come to the hospital immediately because Sajini's condition was critical. Family members rushed to the hospital and found that Sajini had passed away. Tharun was deeply moved and cried loudly. Sajini's cause of death was determined to be strangulation with a scarf. When the police arrived at the scene, Tharun reported that their house had been broken into, jewelry and money had been stolen, and belongings had been thrown around. Initially, the police suspected that the thieves might have killed Sajini when she discovered them. Tharun's emotional state was so shocked that he couldn't stop crying. His pain was too great, and as a result, his condition worsened. He was so distraught that he couldn't even attend Sajini's funeral. Due to his deteriorating condition, Tharun was hospitalized, where his family provided him with emotional support. Meanwhile, the police were working to identify potential suspects by compiling a list of known thieves in the area. On February 16, 2003, 2 days after Sajini's death, Tharun's brother contacted the police, informing them that Tharun had escaped from the hospital. The police were shocked to find that Tharun had escaped from the hospital. Initially, they had assumed that Tharun was completely innocent due to his poor condition, so the police did not assign anyone to closely monitor Tharun while he was in the hospital. However, Tharun's sudden disappearance aroused the police's suspicions. Sajini's family began questioning the police, demanding to know why they had let their guard down and allowed Tharun to escape. As the case attracted widespread media attention, the pressure on the police increased. They immediately launched a thorough search for Tharun. Meanwhile, Tharun's family was also brought in for questioning by the police, but they were released after a few days. Tharun lived with Sajini in an apartment, while the rest of his family lived elsewhere. A massive search operation was launched across the city to find Tharun. The police set up roadblocks at several locations. Despite these efforts, Tharun remained undetected. Pressure from Sajini's family on the police led to the announcement of a large reward for anyone providing information on Tharun's whereabouts. However, even this lucrative offer failed to yield any leads. Police searches were ultimately unsuccessful. It was later revealed that Tharun had been mistreating Sajini since their marriage, motivated by his extramarital affair with another woman. The police eventually tracked down the girl Tharun had been involved with. She told them that on February 16, Tharun had called her and asked her to marry him. However, she had already learned about Sajini's death by then. As a result, she rejected Tharun's proposal outright, telling him she couldn't marry someone suspected of murder. After that, Tharun and the girl lost contact. Nearly 6 years passed without any update on Tharun from the police. The police kept a close watch on Tharun's family, thinking that he might contact or return home. However, Tharun did not see or contact his family during this time. The police discovered that exactly 6 years after the incident, Tharun had visited his parents in another state, but only briefly, as his father had passed away just a day later. Although the police expected Tharun to return for his father's funeral, Tharun did not return. In 2016, a new officer joined the department and reviewed the case file, asking for an update. The police informed him of the current situation, that Tharun's father had passed away, his mother was ill and living in Madhya Pradesh, and his brother lived in Ahmedabad, but there was still no information about Tharun's whereabouts. The police conducted another investigation by discreetly monitoring the area around Tharun's mother's house, looking for any young men who might visit her. Unfortunately, no leads were found. The police then decided to question the girl who had a relationship with Tharun. She reported that she had not had any contact with Tharun since the incident. However, some of her friends had recently mentioned to her that they thought they saw someone who looked like Tharun at a mall in Delhi. The police formed a team to investigate this new information and visited the mall in Delhi. They checked the footage from all the surveillance cameras, but could not find any evidence of Tharun. After receiving multiple reports of sightings of Tharun in various states, the police became increasingly convinced that he was still alive. They therefore launched a thorough investigation by analyzing around 4,000 mobile phone numbers linked to Tharun's family and friends, hoping to uncover a vital clue. Although their search did not yield any significant breakthroughs, the police were determined to find Tharun. They kept a close watch on his mother's phone, scrutinizing her calls to identify her contacts. Tharun's mother received a call on her mobile phone from a landline number in Bengaluru, also known as the Silicon Valley of India. The call originated from the customer care service of a Bengaluru-based Oracle company. This made the police wonder about the connection between Tharun's mother and the Oracle company. The police suspected that Tharun, whom they were looking for, might be working at the Oracle office in Bengaluru. A police team traveled from Ahmedabad to Bengaluru to investigate further. On October 22, 2018, police visited the Oracle office and met the HR department, but police did not disclose the real purpose of their visit. Instead, they informed the HR department that police needed a list of all employees for law and order purposes. The HR department cooperated and provided the police with a complete list of all Oracle employees. In order to avoid being detected by Tharun, the police had to be extremely careful in their approach, as they knew that Tharun would likely escape if he realized that the police were following him. The problem was, Tharun's name was not on the list that Oracle had provided to the police. This made them worry that their efforts might be in vain. However, one name on the list stood out, Parvin Batelli. When the police recalled that Tharun's mother often spoke to Parvin and his wife, Nisha, this connection piqued the police's interest, and they decided to gather more information about Parvin and Nisha in the hope of finding clues about Tharun. The police found it suspicious that Parvin and Nisha were not active on social media, as this is a rare phenomenon in today's digital age, when most people actively share their lives on social media. The police learned that Tharun's mother frequently talked to Parvin Batelli. In addition, Parvin and Nisha had 2 children. The police began to suspect that Parvin Batelli could be Tharun. Therefore, the police began to collect evidence against him. One feature of Tharun's finger during his time as a volleyball coach was a broken and slightly bent finger on his ring hand. On October 23, 2 policemen went to Oracle's customer service office in Bangalore to meet Parvin. When one of the policemen shook hands with Parvin, the policeman immediately recognized Tharun because of the familiar broken finger. The policeman said, "Tharun, your game is over." Upon hearing Tharun's name, Parvin's condition worsened. Tharun's mistake began when his cell phone stopped working, leaving him worried about his mother. Tharun used his office landline instead of a number he could safely use to contact his mother. This last mistake led to his arrest. If he had not used his office landline, the police likely would not have found him. Tharun was taken to Ahmedabad by the police, where he confessed to the crime, admitting to killing his wife Sajini Krishnan. Tharun shared the entire story with the police. After the murder, Tharun proposed to a friend but was rejected. He then moved to Pune, took up a small job, and met Nisha. Tharun tricked Nisha into believing that he was an orphan with no family, after which the two got married. The couple moved to Bangalore in 2009, where Tharun began working for Oracle. After years of investigation and manhunt, Tharun Jinaraj was finally recaptured in 2019. In March 2021, he was sentenced to life in prison for attempted murder.